And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2019 YugiTuber Grand Championship. In this match, we have Mkohl40 going up against the up-and-comer MBT Yu-Gi-Oh! And with us for this electrifying commentary, I thought we'd go ahead and give this man some spotlight. So with us today, MBT Yu-Gi-Oh!
Hey everybody, there's nothing I like more than commentating my own matches. It really, I really get to look at all of the mistakes I made.
Well, considering, you are the residential pacifism expert, I figured that, we might as well go ahead and have someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Otherwise, this commentary would be utterly atrocious.
Oh, stop. Oh. I completely believe in your ability to figure out how good Pot of Extravagance is.
Well, I mean, it is a pretty good card, especially when you draw it in your opening hand.
That's the secret to playing Pacifist, is you just have to draw a Pot of Extravagance.
How many games did you draw a Pot of Extravagance, or is that too much foreshadowing?
It's a little foreshadowing. I could say that it does make another appearance.
So Duality, that looks like a nice reveal on Duality there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The secret to this deck is you got to find a metaverse. You have to find something to stop the Ash, and you have to find a monster.
I didn't know you were playing Mystic Mindburn.
Yes, I am. Mystic Mind is actually just pacifist with less text. It's very easy on the eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's good, but that might be... So then a lot of people should be playing it then. So then why aren't they?
They lack the brain power.
Oh, even though there's less text?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The Pacifist is a very interesting deck. It's kind of in the same vein as Mystic Mind, where like Mystic Mind, you're not allowed to activate effects. Pacifist, you are allowed to activate effects, but doing so loses you the game immediately.
Interesting. I remember, I think the very little experience I have with this deck, I actually played against it, I believe, at YCS Seattle during a Zodiac format. The first weekend Zodiac was legal.
Yeah, woof. It was actually kind of a huge hit out of Zodiac format because someone topped with it, I believe, and it was like a $20 deck. And so everyone was playing it. This deck is not for beginners. It is exceptionally difficult to understand. Pacifist, during Zodiac format, was responsible for more judge calls than any other card when it was represented at like 1%.
Yeah, I remember that there was a lot of hype around that time because there were several people playing it, and people were just like, I just lost to this deck, and I don't even know what happened.
That's kind of how the games end up going.
Yeah. So here you get your token, correct?
Yes. So whenever you activate anything at all, you get a token, and then the token triggers the second effect of Pacifist, which is a soft once per turn, to add a Phantasm Spiral card to your hand. Now, there's a whole litany of cards, but there's one good one, and it's Phantasm Spiral Battle. It is a literal hand trap. You can activate it if all your monsters are normal from the hand, and you have Umi on your side of the field to destroy any card your opponent controls.
Now let's go ahead and talk about what Mr. Robbie Cole is playing over here, because this is apparently your worst matchup, very similar to Mystic Mindburn.
It is far and away my worst matchup. True Draco has a couple of things going for it. Its repeatability, its consistency, but most importantly, its ability to do exactly this. This exact thing that happens. First, we're going to pop the diagram because I can't beat a tribute summoned monster that destroys Pacifist with the grave effect of a True Draco spell.
So Spiral Battle is literally just pop a card, correct?
Yeah, any card whatsoever.
Right.
There's another trap that's like, okay, but this is the only one worth playing. And here it is.
The Metaltron 12 coming down.
So think about this. Your name is Joseph. You've spent all your life crafting the perfect deck. Your opponent is playing True Draco and draws a hand that includes 3 floodgates that do absolutely nothing against you. And suddenly, you're staring down a Metaltron that is a trap. You have 3 spells in your deck. There is nothing that can defeat this card.
See, it's so funny because I like how his hand was double Mind Drain and Soul Drain. Oh, and then just a Demise to follow it up afterwards. Just to throw salt in the wound, he has the card of Demise.
It's not that big of a deal because apparently the cards he'll be drawing into are Mind Drain number 3.
And 4. No, I'm just kidding.
4, yeah. If you're going to cheat by playing a 4th copy of a card, don't let it be Mind Drain, fellas. Please.
Robbie's very fond of his stun decks, whether it's Draco or Inspector Border or any deck that just summons a monster that is incredibly annoying for your opponent to deal with, and just a ton of back row that also makes it incredibly annoying to deal with playing against him.
So the good news is we have the second Pot of
Extravagance. Okay, that's pretty good. It's interesting he opted not to keep the diagram.
Yeah, I think that might have just been a, uh, I don't know,
Oversight.
pity?
Yeah.
What would you call it? I am scraping my deck right now, just trying to find an answer.
How
I
do
do
you
have.
actually answer this card?
Uh,
Is there actually a way for you to out this?
so there is. My extravagance board is basically a bunch of super poly targets, and depending on how excited I am to hit Mystic Mine, either Nightmares, Phoenix, and Cerberus, or like Link Spider, Cyberse, Gardna. Um,
That sounds
so
incredibly specific.
theoretically, I could get a token from Robbie activating an effect, and then like normal summon a normal monster, and then make Nightmare Cerberus at some point in the far-flung future. But if he just keeps attacking, I won't be getting a token, and
I was gonna say, like the statistical probability of this happening is like Robbie would have to like have a stroke during the middle of this match
yeah,
and like forget to attack for that
I'm,
to even have like a remote possibility of happening.
exactly. I'm calling in my connections to the Rothschild New World Order global headquarters. I'm like, please, you have to activate the mine inside this man's head, the RFID chip. Here we're just, firing off some infinite impermanences casually,
Yeah,
as
just
one
because,
does.
just trying to dig for anything at this point.
The
That
one
card off
card
card of that's value right there.
It's a fair card, see?
It's perfectly fair. You went 1 for 1, then went -3. How is that not fair?
Stop sending me hate mail. And that's the game. Destroyed by Uria.
So is this going to be indicative of how the rest of the games go, or is there actually does it get a little bit better?
It is not close.
Okay.
None of the other games are like this.
Okay.
But it's a very interesting sideboard period because, as you can see, Robbie's deck has about 40 floodgates that do nothing against me. I have about 40 floodgates that do nothing against him. And both of our sideboards are not built to beat Phantasm, Spiral, Stun. So,
Sure. I could see why this could potentially be a very problematic matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Who doesn't love playing a deck of 30 bricks and like 6 playable cards?
Yeah, this is the seasoned Phantasm Spiral battle players will recognize this board as the God I hope they don't have evenly strategy.
Well, Metaverse coming down. I mean, that's a good start for you. I mean, it's still like gonna probably go downhill, but
it's something.
At least it's something. Yeah, at least you got that far. I mean, you don't have to worry about Ash, so I mean that's a thing.
Yeah.
So Duality is gonna get oh, there's the border. I knew that wasn't too far off.
So an interesting thing about Border is that it trades with a token, but does just about nothing else.
Because I mean, what else? I mean, the token's only 2,000, and that's like pretty much your largest threat.
That is correct.
Aside from like anything else you have to like disrupt him. So I mean,
oh, ye of misplaced faith! I have nothing in the deck that does that.
Well, I mean, because you have the spiral battle.
I do, yes.
I mean, but obviously that's only, that's only going to go so far, especially against a deck that's, as advantage churning as True Draco.
I'm certainly not hiding any, like, summoned skulls in here.
No. Would that actually be, like, a way to, like, have a decent chance in this matchup?
Yeah. I know.
Well, no, because it would trade with Dynamite Knight, so actually, no, it wouldn't.
It's frustrating because there's stuff you could play, like, Eater of Millions or something, but special summoning an effect monster turns off Pacifist, and having an effect monster means you can't activate battle, so,
Yeah, it's like, it's a catch-22 of sorts. Spiral Battle gonna pop that Diagram.
Yeah, Diagram's one of the better targets. This is, if you ever find yourself in a game against Pacifist, don't do this. Do not spend monster removal on the token. Because this is the judge call everyone got. Pacifist the Phantasm City doesn't check to see if you have a token until the chain is done resolving. So it notices your opponent activated an effect and that you don't have a token on your side of the field, and will just summon a second one.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is a children's card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Really,
remember. I think in my match I learned that as well. The first time it happened, then I made sure it didn't happen again. But
everyone learns it once.
yeah, you're gonna go through that at some point. So
Really,
okay,
if I have a child and like by 6 years old they don't know the intricacies of Pacifist the Phantasm City, I mean, I'm just disowning them.
Yeah.
That's an easy case for adoption.
Of course. I mean, and what kind of heir to the Rothschild fortune?
Yeah. They wouldn't last one day in the weather facility.
So you get that extra token. Not that it really like helps you a whole lot, but
yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like it's something.
This is fun. I have to expend a second battle on this card because I can't beat something with over 2,000 attack. Correct. It's a very Trickstar kind of problem to have.
Sure, yeah, which we know all too well.
Thankfully, I have the skill drain.
Yeah,
so
skill drain's nice to stop the dynamite from at least getting him an extra card in the process. So how is this deck up against like actual like meta, like the current meta? Obviously, you know, it's like nothing's perfect, but like I know that's like you were like anticipating someone might play something like at least decent. I mean, I guess Draco's like tier 2-ish, so
it is, and it is also the most prevalent deck I am afraid of. Yeah, I would say against most other strategies, it does much better than expected. The Kagari limit was amazing for the deck. Because Pacifist grinds exceptionally well and excels against strategies that, like, say, answer my board or lose because it has the ability to do so a lot of the time.
Sure.
It is really bad against, like, slow advantage-oriented gameplay styles, and the Kagari to 1 means that suddenly it occasionally can compete against Sky Striker. It has trouble against Salamangrate because they have effects that activate at the grave.
I'm sorry, the Imperial Order there. I just had to...
I mean,
Duster. Okay, sure. You just have all the answers, don't you?
Yeah.
I was gonna throw in a check this out joke, but I just decided to spare the audience that torture.
That's fair. I'm playing Avram because you can search him at instant speed off of memory, and he represents 2 searches off of Pacifist, because then he returns to the hand. I also don't read the cards that I play, and as a result have attacked after using Heavy Storm Duster.
I mean, I guess we'll have to see in the long run if that matters, because I don't know the outcome. Obviously, you do, but...
attacking is just a completely fictional concept.
Yeah. See, I thought you were playing Avram just because you wanted to solidify your weakness to not having an out to a monster that has over 2,000 attack, but, you know.
Exactly. Konami, when are we getting the normal monster with 2450 to out Vanity's Fiend?
I mean, that would be a pretty sick card if they did print that.
I was so hyped for that to happen when they announced the secret vanilla monster that was going to upend the meta.
This man's playing Raigeki in his Draco deck.
You know, as one does.
Of course. I mean, well, any sophisticated man playing Metaltron 12 obviously is going to play Raigeki.
How embarrassing would it have been if the Raigeki was negated by Imperial Order?
I mean, I've seen worse plays. Let's go ahead and put it that way. But, I mean, at least you managed to pull one off, so it's going to game 3.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And outside of Metaltron, you know, the frightening part about True Draco is the, like, Heritage and Draco Phoenix activations, because they just eat Pacifist for free.
Sure.
But this type of board is not like a let's go all in on Inspector border type open.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you know, Robbie opening Demise all 3 games seems pretty good.
I mean, it's fine. I opened Demise all 3 games.
That's true. And Extravagance. You also got your Extravagance value, too.
It's the unspoken rule between stun duelists is you get to fight at full power.
And they say these cards are broken. Doesn't the OCG still have Demise at 2, actually, now that I think about it?
I love the OCG. Yeah. It is adorable. The concept that, like, semi-limiting matters is just upsetting to me.
I'm glad you and I can agree with that.
Can we actually get possibly an evenly matched semi-limit so Pacifist can win just a little bit more?
I mean, what, neither of you are siding it for the obvious Draco Phantasm mirror match?
Oh no, we're both siding it, but we're ready to evenly matched, like, I don't know, a Sky Striker board?
Yeah.
Not like 4 skill drains and a Inspector board.
You mean a board of 3 mind drains, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Typical. I mean, what else would you expect?
And so here's Deke diagram number 2. I think he's having mercy on me, not just getting Metaltron 3 here.
Do you think that, or maybe he doesn't have the resources to be able to bring it out?
No, it's got to be that one.
Because I feel like if it did that much in the first game, I feel like he'd be trying to do everything in his power to get to it again.
And hilariously, I do have an out for that card, but it involves just the worst play I've ever done, which is super polymerizing Metaltron and Inspector Border into Mud Dragon.
I think that needs to be like on like a top 10 plays of the week.
If it ever
For
happens,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'll let you know.
There's an idea. Someone can go ahead and steal that, even though there's like no footage of Yu-Gi-Oh to be ever recorded. So maybe one day we'll get to that point, but that's not going to be today.
So shockingly, this is a pretty doable board state.
Yeah,
like,
this is not that like terrifying. Like even like your deck aside, this isn't like that bad.
Inspector Border is actually doing a ton of work for me here.
Yeah.
Because if the Ignis resolves, I do lose the game.
That's what I was thinking. It's like the border is actually just like hindering him like half his field. But I mean, again, if it matters, is I think like. Do you think Robbie's like perspective here is to just try to get as many things on the board to try to just like beat you in?
Truthfully, I have no idea.
Oh. I mean, this is Robbie Cole. The man is, clearly deranged.
We love to have hand traps in our grip.
He is playing Metaltron 12. Let's just remember this. Remember, only a sophisticated player. So Metaverse going to go ahead and get another Pacifist. I don't know how much it's really going to matter too much because obviously he already has established beaters, although you could pop them. And the nice thing is because of border, he can't chain anything.
Yeah, if you ever find yourself in a scenario like this, dear viewers, just attack. Just like don't activate effects and attack directly and dare them to have a monster.
Is that the weakness of the deck? If you do nothing, you'll win.
If you just attack with like, if you normal summon Trickstar Candina and don't activate the effect, it literally can't beat that board.
See, this is why I wanted to have you on commentary for these in-depth pacifist plays, so that if anyone goes against this deck on Dueling Book, they know exactly what to do. Normal summon, attack, and pass.
Yeah, if you find me on Dueling Book, don't do this, but everyone else do.
Okay. See, I mean, well, you're kind enough to share the info, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a courtesy. So here's the World
We do
Legacy
have
memory
a monster,
again.
thankfully.
So this allows you to get the Avram.
Yep, and that triggers Pack, and then we can normal summon him again and trigger it again. To basically wipe everything but the border.
Yeah, because, I mean, the fact that he actually switched it to... Well, I mean, you could still technically if you just had another battle.
Yeah.
So you're going to battle the Ignis, and then you're going to trigger it, which will then allow you to get the other battle, which will pop the Maiden, but since... I mean, the nice thing is because Border's 2,000, you can just leave your guys out there freely, so...
I am completely fine just sitting there.
Yeah. It's almost like the fact that he switched it to his border to defense actually kind of mattered here. Because otherwise he would have had no monsters.
I think what I said in chat was that Robbie was playing too much Duel Links, or too much speed dueling, and was prepared to play around Windstorm of Ataqua.
Well, there's that card of demise again.
We love drawing all 3 card of demise.
But the question is, are you going to do the 1-for-1 -3 special?
No, we actually set cards this game.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. I'm disappointed now.
And
you
of
are going
course
to let that Avram go to the graveyard, though. So that's a little bit of the unfortunate part there. But I think you're willing to let that one go.
Check this out.
So he's going to crash the border here.
All right, this is very upsetting.
I find that interesting. I mean, I don't know what he has.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Now that makes sense. Okay.
Who sets evenly?
Now it makes sense. I was like, there has to be some evenly somewhere.
So he set the evenly to activate a card of demise turn 1. And there's a heavy storm duster that I do a blind 50-50 on and with a pot of duality to miss the evenly.
Well, yeah, didn't you hit the diagram instead?
I did, yes. Diagram and a set card.
What was your thinking behind hitting the diagram?
I don't want him to get the man.
Oh, yeah, that's true, because, I mean, you essentially just lose if he does bring that out. That's fair.
Here we activate HSD on our own cards so that we have a pacifist in the grave to activate C Stealth Attack for.
Of course. The most notorious meta plays of 2019.
Oh, yeah, destroying your own board to reset it with C Stealth Attack, everyone's favorite meta threat.
Couldn't you have made the argument, though, that if you dustered both back row, even if he did search Metaltron 12, he wouldn't have been able to summon it?
Yeah, I could have.
Okay,
It's
that's fine. I'm just curious. I'm saying if there's something I missed, I was just curious.
The portion I'm afraid of is like he pops his Inspector border the next turn and just like makes a Draco. I start activating pacifist effects. He gets the Heritage, and then we lose.
Yeah, fair. I mean, you know the deck better than I do. That was like my thinking when I saw that happen, because I noticed that you hit Diagram instead of both back row. So because he didn't have the. I mean, I guess he could have. No, I mean, it would have been a bit difficult for him to get it out. But again, I'm looking in hindsight here, so.
This is the other thing. We maybe should have picked Pacifists off of Evenly Match because we would have gotten a token after Resolution. Instead, Robbie's just kind of free to sit for a little while.
Right. I mean, this is advanced dueling 101 right here. Neither player has a monster.
Just pass.
Until Waterfall Dragonstone comes out, of course. But
yeah, so
he's going to get to add an Ignis.
Obviously, he's not going to activate Waterfall without insurance. So we do go for Pacifist and...
Oh, wow. The order in both games, too. That's rough.
There it is.
Yeah.
It happens.
It does. So he's going to tribute the Apocalypse for the Ignis, and you're not dead, but, I mean, you're kind of dead.
I think we have to raw draw Avram to get out of this.
Is that the only way? Because you basically need... Well, couldn't you raw draw the other battle?
No, because we need a normal monster to activate battle.
Oh, you're right. Correct. So yeah, you did. Yeah, that's what you need. But yeah, I see. That is going to be your concession there. But I think this was a really fun match to commentate, and I'm glad that I had you on to do so that you could provide some very insightful commentary to our viewers. So if you guys haven't already checked out MBT Yu-Gi-Oh, you definitely should. I'll definitely have the links down in the description. But any final thoughts?
Yeah. Everyone, if you're as excited to play Pacifist as I am. Please DM me your builds. Oh God, there's got to be like one good card you can put in this deck to make it playable. Someday I'll find it by scouring like OCG exclusive normal monsters, but not in this match.
Maybe you'll find a way to break Nats that you can't go
to. The secret day 2, I will live stream in from someone else's wedding.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next match.